Lucas Haneman here. Today's episode is featuring this beautiful Gibson ES-125, which I actually featured on this show about 4 weeks ago. This is a student's guitar, but it's still at my house, so I thought that I would take the liberty of doing something a little unconventional with it. And today's episode is hollow bodies with high gain, something that is a very unusual combination, I would say. And the whole point to this little episode right now is to kind of show that by defying logic and sometimes, going for the sounds that don't necessarily go with the look of the guitar or perhaps the vibe of the guitar traditionally that you're playing. Like this is an archtop guitar, so it's made more for jazz playing, right? But by sometimes looking outside the box, we can find great inspiration. So let me talk to you guys about the signal chain today. Today I'm going through my pedal board, and I'll talk about the pedals in a second, and I'm going into this Kingsley Bailey 30 EL84 amp. So here's the amp sound just by itself, so no pedals on. So here's just the amp sound. I would call that like a crunch tone, It's not super high gain, but it's definitely nice sounding. And this P90 pickup sounds good through that, So for instance, if George Thorogood, plugged in through this rig, maybe he'd set the amp up like that to kind of get that bluesy sound. One step further and turn on this Kingsley Minstrel Tube Overdrive, which usually, if I'm plugged in through a clean amp, it kind of gives me that level of gain that we just heard. But since this amp is already broken up, it sounds like this. To me, it actually kind of inspires me to do that kind of old school, almost like a Cream thing. Different sound though, because it's definitely saturating in a different way than a solid body guitar would. It sounds really dirty. Now if I go further and boost that with this boost pedal here, you're gonna hear even more saturation, even more compression going on. So that's really interesting to me because that kind of reminds me of that grungy sound from the 90s, Lots of those bands like Weezer or even Nirvana, to me it kind of sounds like those fuzz tones that were usually played with solid body guitars, but now we're using a full-on archtop. Okay, let's take it one step further to the last final step. I'm going to turn on some fuzz now, and let's hear that. Okay, definitely a cool effect. I mean, I wouldn't want to overuse that, but if I was recording an album and I wanted a really, really dirty tone at a reasonable level, like this is just kind of bedroom level playing right now. Obviously, these tricks would not work quite as well on stage unless you want to go totally nuts. But these are just some things that I think, outside the box, thinking outside the box, working on different sounds that are kind of unconventional. So, have you ever experimented with this kind of thing? Have you ever taken a hollow body guitar and done something really weird with it? Or have you ever taken your Strat and used it, say, for smooth jazz or something like that? Please let me know in the comment section below. That's it for this week. Please do like, share, and subscribe. Please do ring that bell. We'll see you guys again next Tuesday.